Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. Pastor Dowell here. I see now that since biblical families, real, true biblical Israelite families are gaining steam, now you got all the pagan European Christians coming out trying to condemn, twist and warp and distort, and as our brother Pete Rambo says, muddy the waters of Scripture. You know, it's a real problem today. And, of course, that's what religion does. And that's also the reason why religious people don't ever want to come out and have vigorous discussion and debate, because they're afraid they're going to be shamed. They just want to sit back in their little congregations and spit out and spew out all these lies and falsehoods, because they know that the people are not studied. You know, I could take our children in our assembly right there, and they know more than the pastors and the deacons and the elders and the leaders at these Christian churches, because they live this. They're around this all the time. They study this stuff. But they know that the people don't read the book. And it's really an insult and really a great dishonor that these people do to scriptures when they're trying to teach you what they call to be quote-unquote truth, but they don't really actually teach what the scriptures actually have to say. They don't. They do not teach what the biblical text actually has to say. And I've watched them. I've watched these theologians and their sleight of men, their underminers, their forked-tongued serpents as the devils and stuff. I watched them when there's a subject that they're not favorable of. I watched them twist, warp, distort, body slam. I watched them do everything possible to make the Bible not say what it actually says. And of course, my question is, what is that motivation? I understand that me and you may have feelings over a lot of things. That's totally irrelevant. Totally irrelevant about your feelings. What does truth say? And see, a lot of people will purport themselves as they are men and women of truth, but upon scrutiny and careful examination, they're not. They're not. They're actually offended at the creator of the universe. And so a lot of people don't know the etymology of words. They don't even know where a certain cultural paradigm even started from. They don't even know if something has been imposed upon us simply because we live here in America. They just assume that when they go to church on Sunday that they're right, yet they can't find one scripture verse to support that. They can't. God didn't say remember Sunday and keep it holy. He said remember the Sabbath day. And so they take the word, they put the European spin on it, and they believe that they're serving Yah. But what they're doing is they're actually pointing the finger saying, you know what, God, we're going to serve you our way. And they make people feel good while they're here on this earth. They go check in their little time at the church for about 15 minutes to 45 minutes on a Sunday, and they're done. And then people go on with their untransformed life, living their little lives out. And when it's all said and done, the preacher lies and preaches people right into the kingdom. Well, we don't get to determine who goes to the kingdom. But I think it's a systemic problem in Christendom. It really truly is. It's a very, very serious problem when you're out here blatantly lying to the people, and myself and others are telling you you're lying to the people. And yet and still, you rather sit back in defense of your lies to save face rather than actually prove your position. Now, I don't know if Brother Pete is still up to it or not, but hey, I'm solid as a rock. Myself and Pete Rambo, at one time, we put out a $10,000 challenge. Then we put out a $30,000 challenge. And the only reason why we did that, just to see if people are serious about what they're teaching. I mean, after all, if you're really truly so confident in what you're teaching, and you really truly believe that you're solid and you're truthful in what you're preaching or teaching, then what's the problem with making $30,000 and taking it from myself and Pete Rambo if we are wrong? I mean, after all, as vigorous as y'all get up behind these pulpits and lie, as behind these little podcasts and y'all lie y'all rear end off, I mean, what's wrong with a challenge to see if you're telling the truth or telling a lie? Because you're so confident and you put it out there like you're so confident, and then why not just come and take our money? However, I know myself and Brother Pete, we could use $30,000. We could split that. You can believe that. We could use that on our prospective homesteads or communities. But it's just simply not going to happen. We do that to show you that these people are not honest and they're not truthful. They really, truly don't have it in them to want you to know the truth, because I can tell you one thing. It's one thing to come into the knowledge of the truth of what day the Sabbath is. Because even those, hey, it depends on what flavor of religion you in, people even mess that up as simple as the word says it. It's amazing the different subjects. You got people out there that preach and teach, well, we don't believe in water baptism. Okay, I don't care what you believe in. I don't care what we believe in. What does the Bible, what does the scripture actually have to say? What did Messiah do? What did he do? I mean, that's simple enough, right? I can tell you that these pagan, European, Galtic, Gaul, Wessex, Saxons, these Vikings, these Christians, in their Norse, Odin, and Thor, and everything else, other Greek mythology that they enter into, they're not planning on obeying what the word says. You can't find nothing in the whole of the Bible that tells you to celebrate Christmas. I know how they make a manger scene. They can screw that up too. I'm not going to get into all that. But they make a manger scene and they try to put Jesus into a season that he ain't never been in. Then the biggest one, Easter Sunday morning. You got to be kidding me. You see, you could tell that these people are not reading the book. And the sad part about it is, almost every single theologian out there that has ever been to seminary school, hold on, let me get this right, seminary school, they have learned the truth about Christmas and Easter, but they're not going to preach it and teach it because it's unprofitable to them. It's not going to work well for their bottom line. I mean, a lie sells in Christianity a hell of a lot more than the truth does. So if these people can't get these simple things right that we're preaching and teaching and showing you what is the truth, and they can't come to it, and I know the reason why they can't come to it, because you got a lot of people that are steeped in tradition. And of course, Colossians 2:8 says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of this world, and not after Christ or after Messiah. So, and we ain't been aware. We just walk in it and just assume it's truth, and we ain't checked nothing out to see if it's truth or not. Because if you do that, then you're gonna stand to lose your family, to lose your friends, possibly lose your job, to lose all these acquaintances and these associations that you have if you stand on truth. And then you're gonna find out how serious the truth is. And most people are just not willing to test that boast. They like being in comfort. I call these Christian churches the spiritual houses of ill repute. That's what I call them. Every single one of them. Because they know they're liars. And look, it doesn't offend me at all, because Jesus had already called it. He said that the blind lead the blind, and they both would fall into the ditch. And these people out here have become leaders of the blind. That's the reason why I'm not offended by it, because if the Messiah didn't call it aforetime, then we could have a little bit of reprieve there. Then we could have a little bit of, you know what I mean? We can have a little bit of heaviness there. But since he already called this thing before it happened, then why be offended when you're watching all these people choosing to be blind? Most people, they say they love Jesus, but they love Jesus their way. Therefore, they don't love. Remember, his ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. Man, there's a lot of coming to that a lot of people is going to have to get used to. I don't think they're ever going to do it. I mean, I'm under no illusion whatsoever at all. I don't think that the people have the integrity or heart or intestinal fortitude to come to the truth. I just don't believe it. I don't think they ever will. I don't think that they have the chutzpah. I don't think that they have the character. I don't think they have the discipline, the honor. I don't think that they're truthful enough to actually really, truly come to the knowledge of the truth. Because when you weigh the cost of losing your family, possibly, when you weigh the cost of losing your job, possibly, when you weigh the cost of losing your friends or whatever you value in this life, I know one thing. If they're more valuable than Jesus, and Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man can come unto the Father but by me, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. It'll make you free. I know one thing, they value them things above Jesus. Therefore, they will never make it into the kingdom. Because Jesus said, you deny me before men, I'm going to deny you before my Father. Now, y'all take this sermon and y'all take this video, make a reaction video on what I said, and then call the number that's usually behind me and put forth that challenge. And let's see if y'all really, truly are men and women of integrity and truth and honor, or do you just sit back offended in your sealed houses? See, because, I mean, everybody can't be right on all these subjects right here. And so I think it's warranted. If you claim to be a man and woman of the truth, then why not just put your money where your mouth is? When I say man and woman of truth, I'm not expect, because I'm not going to debate a woman. A woman ain't supposed to preach in the first place. She's supposed to be a chase keeper at home. She's supposed to keep silent in the church, just like the book says. And the book says, suffer not a woman to preach, nor to usurp authority. Suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over a man. So a woman today, she needs to learn how to sit down and shut up and be quiet and be taught, and let the men do this right here. But y'all don't have a lot of men out there. You almost have males that's calling themselves men. There are men amongst y'all, but when it comes time for war, you can find out they're all cowards.